Good afternoon. It's Lisa Maria Kazalak, the Vivacious Freelancer. And I thought I would actually take a moment before I get home and go set up for this homelessness sleep out fundraiser for the Albany Community Foundation. I'm just sitting here in Williams at the Jaxo Bakery in their gorgeous lounge room where I'm having a coffee, and it's just delightful. So I thought I'd take a moment because some of us find it easier to listen to stories rather than have to read them for various reasons. And I thought I would narrate and read my story for you for why I'm doing the sleep out tonight. And just so you know, there's a major weather warning down here in Albany this afternoon and evening. For tomorrow, there'll be snow on the Stirling Ranges. So this is more real than we could ask for, which is an actual blessing. So here goes. Why I'm sleeping out. This August, I'm taking part in the Albany Community Foundation's Sleep Out for Homelessness, raising funds for a shelter here in Albany, Western Australia. I want to tell you why. I know what it is to lose your footing entirely, your income, your health, your home, your sense of who you are, and to have to rebuild from somewhere close to nothing. I know it because it happened to me. Leaving. In October 2020, I stepped away from my executive career. My health needed me to. It was the right decision. It was also the beginning of the hardest period of my life. Wits End.
Have you got my phone?
I found a small rental cottage in Stratham in the southwest on a 5-acre block belonging to a generous older couple. The cottage was called Wits End, which, in hindsight, is a strange kind of funny. It was there that things started to unravel further. I began to understand that I was seriously unwell. A body that turned against me. In January 2022, I had a severe reaction to a COVID-19 vaccine, Pfizer. Within hours, I was in an ambulance. Within weeks, I was genuinely fighting, for a medical exemption from a second dose at a time when exemptions were not handed out easily. What followed was frightening in a way I still find hard to put into words. I lost pieces of myself I hadn't expected to lose. Words, sentences, my sense of direction in places I knew well. Watching your own mind become unreliable while also fighting a medical system for answers is one of the hardest things I've lived through. Through 2022, I kept working where I could, consulting on a hydrogen technology project in the Midwest, and later representing WA on a state trade delegation to India, one of the most profound experiences of my career, even as everything underneath me was unsteady. In September 22, after a second vaccine dose, Novavax, I had a severe reaction again, this time psychiatric. After 20 years of managing bipolar 1 disorder well, I found myself in the grip of a psychosis unlike anything I'd experienced. I had the clarity, even then, to step back from work and get myself safe. It took months of treatment to stabilize. A relationship that wasn't serving me. For most of this time, I was in a relationship I didn't fully understand the shape of until much later. Looking back, it was an unhelpful relationship, one where isolation crept in gradually, where my finances kept propping up the household, that wasn't propping me up in return. And where, as I got a little stronger through 2023, I slowly started to see it clearly for what it was. In December 2023, a trusted mentor said the words to me plainly, and I knew she was right. I left the next day. Becoming homeless. From the 6th of December 2023, I was homeless. I stayed briefly with a friend, and then through a connection at my local parish, my parish priest, Father Wayne Bendotti, from the Our Lady of Immaculate Conception parish in Dardanup, offered me his own kind of miracle. 6 months accommodation in Mother Superior's quarters of the historical Carmelite convent. My mum Elizabeth and my youngest brother Daniel moved me in on my 45th birthday on the 4th of January 2024. A bedroom, a kitchenette, a bathroom, and more than anything, safety and time. Here I tended the rose gardens, built a new veggie patch, and cared for an old, run-down historical building. We both needed each other, it turns out. In June 2024, I moved to Albany, where I live now. At risk of homelessness again. Ironically, 2 years and 1 month on, I'm again looking for a new home because no grounds evictions legislation has not been presented to the Western Australian Parliament as promised by the Premier, the Honourable Roger Cook, MLA. The CRIS, a consultation regulatory impact statement, was presented to the public in May 2026. And still, alas, no bill has even made it to the notice paper of the Legislative Assembly. Not good enough. Premier Cook, it's simply not good enough. Where that leaves me, I share all of this not for sympathy, but because it's the truest account I can give of how a person with a stable career, a home, and a plan for her life can end up without any of those things. Not through one dramatic event, but through a series of them compounding. I was fortunate. I had a mentor who told me the truth, a friend who helped me pack, and a priest who gave me somewhere safe to land and my family and friends. Many people facing what I faced don't have any of those things. They end up with nowhere to sleep at all. The legislative environment has not been reformed appropriately to help people like me who escape death, chronic illness, and domestic violence to only be put at risk of destroying my nervous system, my health. I have literally fought for what? Lazy politics? I have spent over 25 years as an independent economist, working in public policy roles in state and federal government agencies, industry and peak bodies, in the private sector, and as my own economics consulting firm, now called Economics with Heart. I am flabbergasted at the state of affairs in this state and our nation, and I have had enough of the malarkey. The worst bit of this is that it is the bicentenary this year on Christmas Day of white settlement in Albany, Western Australia, the first place in Australia that was settled under the British colony. Let that sink in for a minute. This is why I'm doing the sleep out tonight. One night of discomfort by choice so that the Albany Community Foundation can put a roof over people who don't have the choice. So please help share my story, because it's not the only one like this, and where you can, contribute something to the fundraiser. Thank you for taking the 10 minutes to listen to my story. Bye for now.